Everyone's trying to squeeze them, strip them, scrub them off. But here's what most people don't know. What you are seeing on your nose probably isn't blackheads at all. And everything you are doing to get rid of them, it might actually be making things worse. I'm a Korean doctor and the founder of Dr. Cosmo. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what those dots are, what they keep coming back no matter what you do, and the only routine that actually works long term. Let's start with something almost nobody talks about. Those dark dots on your nose, most of them are not blackheads. They are called sebaceous filaments. Here's the difference, and it matters. A blackhead is clogged pore, dead skin cells, and oxidized sebum get trapped, turn dark from air exposure, and form a plug. That's a blackhead, and yes, it can be extracted. A sebaceous filament is completely different. It's a normal part of your pore structure. Every single pore on your face has one. It's the channel that allows your sebum, your skin's natural oil, to reach the surface. When sebum, dead skin cells, and debris accumulate inside that channel, it becomes visible. That's what you are seeing. And here's the key difference. If you squeeze a blackhead, something comes out, and that pore can stay clear for a while. If you squeeze a sebaceous filament, and I've seen this thousands of times in clinic, it comes back within 2 to 4 weeks every time, because it's not a clog, it's a structure. So the goal is not to remove them, the goal is to minimize how visible they are and prevent excessive buildup. That's a completely different approach. To understand how to manage sebaceous filaments, you need to understand what sebum actually is, because most people think skin oil is the enemy. It's not. Sebum is produced by your sebaceous gland like this. It contains triglycerides, squalane, wax esters, fatty acid, a complex mixture that lubricates your skin, supports your microbiome, and helps maintain your barrier. But here's the irony. People with oilier skin tend to age more slowly. The sebum keeps the skin supple and protected. So when you see sebaceous filaments, your skin is actually doing its job. The problem is excess accumulation. When too much sebum and dead skin cells build up inside the follicle, the pore stretches and looks larger. That's what we want to prevent. Not the oil itself, but the excess build-up. Alright, let's talk about what actually works. 3 ingredients, and I want to explain why each one works, not just tell you to use them. First, salicylic acid. This is a beta-hydroxy acid, and what makes it special for sebaceous filament is that it's oil soluble. Most acids are water soluble, meaning they work only on the surface of your skin. Salicylic acid can penetrate into the pore itself because it dissolves in oil. It breaks down the sebum and dead skin build-up inside the follicle from the inside out. One important note, salicylic acid in a cleanser has limited contact time since it leans off. A leave-on product, a toner or serum, works better because it stays on the skin longer. Start with 0.5 to 2%. Use it in the morning or on alternating evenings. Second, retinoids. I've talked about this before. They are the most evidence-backed active in skincare. But for sebaceous filaments, specifically, they work through 2 mechanisms nothing else can replicate. 1. They reduce sebum production at the source. Retinoids regulate the activity of your sebaceous glands, so less oil is being produced in the first place. 2. They remodel pore structure itself. Retinoids stimulate collagen around the follicle, which means over time, the walls of the pore become firmer and the pore appears smaller. This is why retinoids are my first choice for long-term pore management. They are not just managing the symptoms, they are changing the underlying structure. I use adapalene myself. Start low, go slow every other night. pea-sized amount for your whole face. Third, niacinamide, what I most like. It regulates sebum production and has anti-inflammatory properties that help keep pore clear. It's not as powerful as salicylic acid or retinoids for this specific concern, but it's extremely well tolerated, layer well with both of the above, and I use it myself every single morning as an essence before vitamin C. 5 to 10% is the effective range. Use it as a rib-on product, essence, serum, or moisturizer, not in a cleanser where it leaves off before it can do anything. Now, for those who want faster, more significant results, let me talk about what we actually do in clinic, because there's a ceiling to what topical alone can achieve. One of the most effective treatments for pore size and sebaceous filament management is fractional laser. I use the Staros system, specifically the erbium YAG fractional mode. Fractional laser creates thousands of microscopic treatment zones in the skin. This triggers a wound healing response that stimulates new collagen and elastin, and critically, it remodels the pore structure from within. Over a series of treatments, pores genuinely appear smaller. Not because we removed anything, but because the skin architecture around the pore becomes tighter and firmer. There's also a sebum reducing effect. The thermal energy mildly suppressed sebaceous gland activity. Needle RF, radio frequency micro needling, works differently but achieve a similar outcome. The needles create microchannels into the skin and deliver radio frequency energy at a precise depth. This hits the dermis and directly targets the sebaceous gland. The RF energy has been shown to reduce sebaceous gland size and activity, which means less sebum production long term. For patients with persistently enlarged pores and oily skin, this is one of the most effective cleaning options available. Skin Botox, sometimes called mesobotox or intradermal botox, involves injecting very small diluted amount of botulinum toxin into the superficial dermis, not the muscle. When it reaches the sebaceous gland, it reduces their activity and sebum output. Pores appear tighter and skin looks more refined. It's a quick procedure, minimal downtime, and result typically lasts 3 to 4 months. For patients who want a non-laser option or who have particularly oily, large-pored skin, this is something I often recommend. And one more option that doesn't get talked about enough, oral treatment. For patients with significantly overactive sebaceous gland, we have pharmaceutical options that reduce sebum production systemically. Low-dose isotretinoin is the most well-known, even at doses much lower than what's used for acne. It significantly reduces sebaceous gland activities. Spironolactone is another option, particularly for women, as it has anti-androgenic effects that reduce hormonal sebum stimulation. These are prescription medications, not something to self-prescribe. But if oily skin and enlarged pores are significantly affecting your quality of life, it's absolutely worth a conversation with your doctor. Okay, let me put it all together. Here's how I do structure a routine specifically for sebaceous filament management. In the morning, pH balanced cleanser, niacinamide essence. I use this every morning myself. Vitamin C serum, moisturizer, and SPF 15 sunscreen. Separately, not combined. That's it. In the evening, pH balanced cleanser, niacinamide essence on retinoid night, adapalene, pea-sized amount, on-off night, a leave on salicylic acid toner or serum on the T-zone. Finish with your repair cream. I use the Dr. Cosmo ML cream. The EGF and peptide in, it supports the cell renewal that adapalene triggers, and the chamomile water calms any irritation. Once a week, a salicylic acid mask on the T-zone. This keeps build up minimal and means you are rarely, if ever, need a pore strip. Quick word on pore strip. They are not evil. Once a month or every 2 months is fine. They give a satisfying result and clear some surface build-up, but they do nothing to address the underlying sebum production. They are reactive, not preventive. If your routine is dialed in salicylic acid, retinoid, niacinamide, you will find you need them less and less. That is the goal. Get ahead of the build-up so you are never chasing it. So, to summarize, those dots are almost certainly sebaceous filaments, not blackheads. They are normal. They are not going away permanently. But with the right routine, you can minimize them significantly. Salicylic acid to dissolve the buildup, retinoids to reduce oil production and remodel the pore, niacinamide to regulate sebum and keep inflammation down. And if you want faster results, fractional laser, needle RF, skin botox, or oral treatment are all options worth discussing with your doctor. If you want me to cover a specific skin concern, drop it in the comment. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Thank you. 안녕.